Hi, this is Zak Mir with the US Chartbreakers here at Zak's Traders Cafe for Tuesday, the 11th of November. Starting off with the S&P, well, we've got 7,000 in our sights, especially after the price channel rebound that we've had, gap higher that we had yesterday, and obviously the time of year normally conducive to a bit of a flourish towards the 31st of December. Current situation is that we're just looking for an end-of-day close through 6,800, which is what we got, in fact, above recent resistance on the way down through 68.30, and hoping for 7,000, possibly even as soon as the end of this month, but penciling that in for the end of December. On the downside, hoping that the floor of the channel there from April around the 68.60 mark, and the 50-day line rising at 68.77 will do the trick in terms of keeping the rally alive. The other point to note is that we had a RSI, a rebound just below neutral 50, but that has been just as good as one at 50. The other point is that we gapped down at the start of the month and gapped up, so that's a bear trap iron reversal, one of the more consistent charting signals or setups around. Moving on to the Nasdaq, and here similar thing to the S&P, with the gap higher after a very strong hammer candle that we had to end last week rather. And here you can see that we have a gap to fill up towards 25,900 to be precise, and looking for this market to hit as high as 26,800 by the end of this month, while we're above the floor of the channel and the 50-day line, 24,750. Similar RSI, well, just under RSI 50 rebound that we've had, back similar to all the ones we've had since the beginning of August. So interesting setup there. Moving on to the stocks, and we start off with Apimeds, and here, interesting that it looks like we'll have a second go at breaking the 200-day line there. That is around the $2.80 mark. If we can do that, then feeling quite confident about the shares heading up to the top of the pre-anointed or pointed target there, as high as $4. That's the top of a rising trend channel from May. But if you're cautious, just wait for an end of day close above the 200-day line for assuming $4 was on its way, or is on its way. Next up is Greenidge, and here we gap through the 50-day moving average. We've got a rising trend channel there, top of the channel there, £2.53, and we're looking for that while we remain above a rising 50-day line, $1.75. So it looks pretty well set, even though at the moment we're not going for a big upside target. We're just hoping this will hit the top of the channel. Next on the list is InflaRx, and here you can see that we've got a rising trend channel, upside there towards $2.20. We've gapped up again through the 50-day moving average at $1.39, and above that, looking for that 220, hopefully by the end of next month or even sooner. But the key here is staying above that 50-day line, and that's basically the setup. Moving along to Orion Energy, and here we've gapped, or we pushed through the initial target here around $11.90. Next level up, hopefully the upper parallel, that rising trend channel from June. That's heading towards the 1550 level, and we're looking for that by the end of this month, while we're above the $12 level. Return to the following stock, which is called Personalis rather, and here another gap through the 50-day line. Big day yesterday in terms of gapping up, and here you can see that top of the channel there up to $12. Looking for that by the end of next month, while we remain above the floor of the channel and the 50-day line there around $7.35. RSI is now pushed above neutral 50 as well, which is a nice look. The next is we have a stock which has done us proud of the recent past. First target hit there around $16.50. Second one now hit around $22.30. We've got an upper parallel now to go for at $30. Looking for that by the end of this month, while we remain above recent broken resistance around $21. Obviously, ideally, we stay above that second target there around the $22 mark. On to the last two. First one is coming up, which is SU Group Holdings. And here we've got a rising trend channel base, although not too much rising here, but it was a strong rebound yesterday, pushing through the 50-day line and RSI 50, and then we're just looking for the top of the range $10 plus by the end of this month as a best case scenario target. The last stock on the list today is Stran and Company, and here a massive move yesterday. We can see that the shares within a wide rising trend channel. We're guessing that the top of the channel there is $4.45 as a best case scenario target, and looking for that while we're above $2.50, basically half of yesterday's range. Obviously, the rally started with a few bounces near the RSI 50 level, and then that final higher RSI peak that has delivered today's or yesterday's move to the upside. That's for me today. More updates tomorrow.